Hey, what's up? Welcome, everybody. Thanks for checking in. Today, I am coming to you live from Morro Strand State Beach. This is Morro Bay, California, back here. Got my T-Mobile Wi-Fi right here, running on AC power off of solar. Tu conexión es muy buena. So hey, T-Mobile, let's link up. I'm starting a rep for you guys here. So anyways, oh look, yeah, full bars. So this is one part of many of the things on this journey that I've got going on here. The adventure videos are what everything is about. So if you guys just found this, you're curious about all this, go to the adventure videos. That's what this whole channel is about. Everything else is me just trying to figure the rest of this out because I am on a path to turn this stuff into a real legitimate livelihood. So check out the adventure videos. If you guys have been around for a little while and want to hear a little bit more of my thoughts and dig a little deeper, well then come right along here. I'm going to show you around in just a moment, take you outside, give you a little bit better view of where we are. And then I've got a vlog coming up. I'm going to shoot right after this. I've got some new equipment and I'm going to do a vlog and show you all this. So this podcast is going to have a subject, and the subject is minimalism. And I will explain just a little bit about, what that is, what it is to me, how I think it's really beneficial to life, and how it is opening up doors and allowing me to pursue a path of greater purpose with much more opportunity to be more profitable and valuable than other options I've found trading hours for dollars for myself. So we'll get into that in a minute. First, I'll go ahead and take you around outside. So when I'm on the laptop here, if I try to show you anything, it gets a little hard to see. So maybe this will be terrible. Who knows? If that's the case, check right back to my channel for the vlog. That will have a whole lot more going on around out here. See if I can set down the laptop and be able to see here. Yeah, so I'd like to set up sometime and get out my little table and do some of these out here. So I'd say 2/3 of the time I make a place like this kind of a public beach with public restrooms and close access to things in my office, and then 1/3 of the time I'm in somewhere more natural, either out on the beach in the sand dunes or up in the national forest. So anyways, I'll bring you back and actually let me show you a little bit more here of the solar setup we got going on. I should have full charge. Got all my electronics charged in this big old battery here, which will run that Wi-Fi for days. So, can we see that? So yeah, I don't have to worry about running out of power out here. Yeah, it's crazy. You can really do things like this instead of going and working for the man if it becomes really your highest priority and value. I'm a little worried the audio's not coming through. I'm hearing, I see it blinking a little bit. Hopefully it does. All right. Get the microphone back out of the way here. So yeah, just imagine this is a pretty cool backdrop here. There might be some people that come up right behind. There was a guy a minute ago checking his reflection in my limo tinted window, not knowing he's staring right at me. That was kind of funny. So who knows? Maybe somebody will come up behind us and do that. Keep things interesting. But I'll do this out in out in nature too. It's amazing where I've been able to get Wi-Fi signal out in the national forest and away from everything. So I'm just getting dialed in on this again. The adventure videos is what we're here about, but I'm going to be switching back and forth. I took a few notes, and let's see if I can actually string together this thought process good for you today. And of course, I've made my screen not switch back and forth like I like. Okay, well, so minimalism is the subject today. This is a part of my big journey here, something that's allowing me to do some pretty cool stuff. There's a lot to it, and my thoughts on it have actually gotten just a little bit more complex lately. Sorry, looks like my eyes a little red. Well, sorry about that, guys. It's spring. Deal with it. Okay. So, I've lived a bit different path than most people. Lived a bunch of time up in a ski town, 7 years. I've made it all around, chasing different careers. I've owned a business, with some really amazing successes, even though things blew up in my face. I had one client with over 30,000 rental units, probably 40,000 rental units altogether, 42 contracted agents. I've done a handful of things. And the whole time, you're always chasing something, but you don't really know what. And then we go and we work hard. We come home and, we deserve to spend some money on something. We've gotten to this point where we trade hours for dollars, and we trade those dollars for stuff. We trade those dollars for consumerism. And a large amount of time, I think, the things that we are consuming are not as valuable as the hours of our lives we're giving up for the dollars we're trading those for. I've started to see consumerism really as a disease, whether it's just things that we're stuffing in our faces that are unhealthy and cost way more than they should, and things that are highly processed and preserved and shipped and everything, to needing a lot of stuff that doesn't serve any extra purpose in life. And as I've started to realize that my time is my most valuable asset, and something that goes along with that is extremely valuable is my energy, my skills, my capabilities, my knowledge, my experience. These things are far more valuable than I believe pretty much any employer can trade dollars for that time for. So time is my most valuable asset. And even if you don't have the same level of skills and amazing resume that I do, it's still yours. You still can do the most things with your time, or you can waste it. And so I've realized that, and I've thought about everything real deeply about what I want out of life. What is my purpose? What are the things that mean the most? And when I try to break it all down and simplify it the most for myself, freedom is the thing that's the most important. So now everything that I'm doing, I'm operating off of a few things that I come to hold true for myself. Freedom is the ultimate goal, and time is my most valuable asset. These are two things that the traditional career path, education, 30-year mortgage, 401k are in direct opposition of. They don't want you free. They want you locked in to a debt where you have to stay working at a job where somebody tells you when and where to be and what to do, and how your time is most valuable to them to upsell for their profit that you then get taxed on and then pay more taxes. And it's just a vicious cycle of allowing our lives to get wasted going in no direction for nothing. So what am I doing on this mission? What is part of the big reason of this? This is to create capacity. Create capacity by reducing expenses, by maximizing the amount of income I can generate when I do have to trade my hours for dollars, and to really be able to make the time and leave the energy available to focus on where it's going to be the most valuable, both to me, to building my future with everything I'm doing here with this channel, with this brand online, as well as my dreams and goals to, throughout time, throughout the decades, influence and impact the world in positive ways as well. So, as I've kind of realized that I want my time and energy more than I want stuff, it's become a really liberating feeling. It's literally like breaking an addiction. And, that's another challenge. I'm just past 6 months with no alcohol in my life. That became a really bad habit, and I'm glad it's gone. And I see some real parallels between consumerism and addiction to alcohol, and I'm sure other addictions. Fortunately, my only real challenge was with alcohol, and I'm on the better side of that and intend to continue in that direction. But you're out seeking pleasure. Oh, if I get this thing, it's going to make me so happy. I'm going to feel so good. But yeah, you get it, and whether it's that day, the next week, the next month, whatever, it's not making you feel joy. It's not giving you contentment. It's not making you fulfilled. It's giving you pleasure at that moment. Kind of like vices, kind of like drinking, kind of like, I'm sure just pursuing pleasure and any other way, going out for the dopamine hits, gambling, going to, who knows, strip clubs. I'm just, I don't know. There's millions of different addictions, I'm sure, but consumerism is one that's widely accepted, and it seems to really ail society pretty heavily. So all this crazy thing that I'm doing here is really about creating capacity to focus my time and energy where they're the most valuable, and not have somebody else tell me, here, follow these directions. Here's how you're the most valuable. I can have you push this button the same amount of times or put the same rivet in the same hole, and then I can sell your time for some profit. Like, I'll do whatever it takes to get away from that game. Like, this is my passion right now. I don't need stuff. I'm not going after a fancy car or a huge house. Those things are going to come through consistent good habits and hard work, through developing my brand, through not breaking the character that I've created, by continuing to eat right and go to the gym and work out, continuing to create content, continuing to do things that I might put a whole lot of time and energy and effort into, knowing that they're not going to generate much of an initial return. I might not get many views or any views. I might not make any money right off the bat, but I'm getting momentum. I'm getting practice. I'm moving forward. That's where my time and energy needs to be going to. And fortunately, I'm working a cake job, 15 hours a week now, because I don't have much expenses, and I'm making about $40 an hour. So it's enough to keep this afloat. And then I'm doing another 60 plus hours a week working on my brand, my freelance work, and going to the gym, probably 80 hours a week when you really put all that in. I'm not watching TV. I'm not playing video games. I'm not doing it. I'm just using the capacity that I've created to focus on this, and to mess things up as many times as it takes to figure them out and get them good, and just keep going. It's an amazing feeling when you have so much initial, drive and passion and calling, and then you develop the skills to do something with it, and then you break free of the mindset that kept you from utilizing all those skills and capabilities in the first place. It's an amazing feeling. And right now, things are not easy. I'm not coasting. I have not made it yet, but I know I'm going to. And that's the thing. Now that I have removed the idea that I have to depend on somebody else to make it so I can live my life, so I can pay my bills, so I can have a roof over my head, gas in my tank, and food in my stomach. And really, instead of going through life on the defense, on fear of not being able to get by, going on the offense and saying, how am I going to make this way more awesome than just sitting around making sure things don't ever go bad. And so, it would be great if there's thousands of these podcasts right now. I saw Joe Rogan's first one. Maybe that was even rougher than this. And this is pretty darn cool. You're looking at the ocean right behind me. I don't know exactly what's happening back here. People are feeding birds, and who knows? You might see a homeless guy pull up after surfing, and then go shampoo his head right behind me, and then go over to the beach, shower, and wash it off. Who knows? Oh, all right. So, adopting a minimalist ideal it's become liberating because I'm not out there trying to sell hours for dollars to chase stuff that I understand is not going to actually make me happy. I've figured out what's actually going to make me happy. What's going to make me happy is breaking free of the matrix of being 100% self-sufficient, of being able to create my livelihood here without having to have, an employer or clients or having to contract out my valuable skills and time and sell them to somebody else in the form of hours for dollars. At the same time, the thing that's gotten just a little more complex, bit of thought about this lately. Can you be a minimalist? Can I be a minimalist? Could I be a minimalist and still enjoy extravagant things? And it's a bit more complex, but it's actually really simple when I think about it. So the big dream and the vision, it's big. You're not going to get it until you see it happening. Like, I could talk about it all day long and, it'll be cool. And just as it happens, you'll see. So, once I own my land outright, I've built my home as much with my own hands and friends and partners, contractors I can work with as possible. I've got my solar panels. I've got my well, my water catchment, ability to hunt, my gardens. And I've got income through my online brand and all my different streams of revenue I'll be creating. And it's good. So I'm to the point where I don't need anybody and I can get completely by, and that's growing and it's continuing to move. And at that point, am I now doing something substantial for the community or the world with my time, money, and resources? And if I get to a point where I'm doing something really substantial and I've got a bunch of things going on and I'm bringing way more good into the world than I'm taking from it, and I own everything outright, and just, that is the only time to me it makes sense to be extravagant. But at that point, if I'm worth hundreds of millions and I'm bringing real good into the world and doing good things, and I can go out and buy the sports car that I always wanted since I was a little kid and had it as a Hot Wheels or something, then I think it's just fine. Because at that point, once you've adopted that minimalist mindset so much, I know that I could lose that, and let me digress just a little bit. I'm talking to you from a place that, I've had some realizations that maybe you haven't yet, or I haven't articulated. So, I'm about 2.5 years into getting myself physically in shape, getting really dedicated into the gym, pursuing an alcohol-free lifestyle. And now I'm over 6 months into that too. And I feel like as long as I'm always in control of it, I will have nipped that demon. But at the beginning of all this, I found kind of a tough love influencer online, which was just what I needed at that moment. I'll try to get this microphone a little closer and see if it gets better sound here. So this guy's name was Wes Watson. He went to prison for 10 years and then came out and kind of found this mindset. And, it's the guy's controversial. I'm not on board with every single thing, every single moment, but for the most part, I've gotten a lot of wisdom from it. And there's a whole lot more I could convey to you, but a big part of the message, maybe I'll tell you more about him in a bit, but a big part of the message is create the character who you want to be and then never break that character. And a part of that is physical fitness, is working out. You don't miss your workouts. I've actually had to dial mine back because I've been going too hard for way too long. I've developed tendonitis in my elbows, so I've had to modify my program, and but it's because I know of the path I'm going, and I'm still working out. I'm still getting in there. I'm still doing my legs. I'm still doing my core. And I'm still doing upper body. It's just been modified. And instead of doing 2 days on, 1 day off, I'm doing 1 day on, 1 day off right now, just trying to get past it so I can get back to training harder. But the thing is, never break character, whether it's your workouts, whether it's your sobriety, whether it's your business, whether it's anything. You create the individual that you admire. My goal now is to create the individual that I admire within myself. And then gift that individual to the world. And if you stick with those same habits, no matter how good or bad things go, never break character, everything will work out. So, learning this minimalism thing and realizing, okay, well, if I ever did make it to the point where I could have extravagant things, and I said, hey, why not? I'm so far ahead of the curve, I can. When you truly have embraced this minimalist mindset, which I understand and I believe in, and I am living, but I'm continuing to further get into, you can lose everything and be just fine because you maintain your character, you maintain your habits. Nothing changes, whether you're on the top of the world or at the bottom of the trenches. And, that's what I'm realizing now. I got out here where I landed right in fall, right before Halloween. And I've been through a bunch of cold, rainy nights and some real rough times and some big unexpected expenses. And it's been rough, but I didn't give up and I didn't break character. I didn't drink, and I kept going to the gym. And now this isn't an idea. This isn't something I'm going to do. This is something I am. This is something I've become. And this is just the beginning of everything so amazing that's going to happen. And it's because I kept moving forward and I didn't break character. So, through some real rough times, man, I picked up a hell of a good lesson for life because this one won't go away. I'm 2.5 years into fitness and 6 months into sobriety. And that's just the beginning, 1,000 days will be into July of my gym time. And, that's going to be just the very beginning. I can't wait to show that video and of the progress I've made. And, again, just going through those bumpy times, following the right habits, being the right character, and then staying true to my vision. And all of a sudden, everything's changing. And I could wake up tomorrow and I will have hit that point where I've made it, where I can sustain myself just with my content. And at that point, a whole new world of possibilities opens up. So much freedom. I can really plan out what to do and how I can start to impact others and, influence some with this message of minimalism and of fitness and wellness, and bring you along on my crazy journey of just giving everything away and driving west 1,500 miles with $3,000 of available credit, no plan and no job. And 6 months later, I'm proudly without alcohol and got a lot of cool videos and stories to tell and things that I'll be able to look back on, when I'm 70, 80, 90 years old. I mean, I don't even know if I want to live that long. I want to be able to be active and healthy and go hard and then boom, go out in a plane crash or something. A long ways down the road, but past my, I don't want to live that same life I saw my poor grandmother live. But anyways, I don't want to get too far off subject. The main point today was minimalism. It all ties together. A few things, a few really important, vital things for me, and probably some of these things could affect you. A few of these combined can lead to a completely different path, completely different outcome, a better life than I can imagine, than you could possibly imagine. And really truly believing in minimalism, I think, is one of those great things that can liberate you, that can save you so much time and energy, allow you to put your dollars to where they really matter and put your time and energy where they really matter, so you can build things for yourself instead of building something for someone else and letting them mark your time up for their profit. So adopt that minimalism mindset never break character. You know, for me, I cannot imagine. It wouldn't have been possible for me to do this while I was drinking. It wouldn't have been possible. I wouldn't have had the money. I wouldn't have had the drive, the wherewithal. The amount of time I put into this content is insane. You might not see it yet, but it's a lot. And this is a long-term investment with an understanding that I'm doing this for delayed gratification. So, maintain your good habits. For me, maintaining my alcohol-free life always, maintaining that minimalist mindset, and truly, finding self-belief again. You have, minimalist ideals, belief in yourself, and an understanding of the picture of how valuable your time is, and that your goal is freedom, that my goal is freedom. Things really can change. So watch what I do. Keep coming back. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. But I'm going to have all these to come back on, and I'm going to keep doing these podcasts and getting them dialed in. My dream and goal was never to do a podcast. My dream and goal is the adventure videos. But I see that I've got a whole lot of things, a whole lot of different parts that I need to plug in and get together to really get this going. So, guys, thanks for following along on the journey. Make sure you check out the adventure videos playlist. Again, that's what this channel is all about. Have an awesome day.